So after I had that conversation with Jackson, I called Marlon and was just like, hey, I talked to Jackson and I asked Jackson how he felt about you. He's like, okay, what'd he say? I said, he said that you're okay. Like, you seem nice. He don't think you will hurt a fly. He was just like, what that's supposed to mean? I want her to fly. I'm like, I guess he feels safe with you. I asked him if he felt safe around you, and he said yes. So that's good. That is good. He was just like, oh, okay, okay. He was like, do y'all want to come over tonight when I get off work? And I'll cook. I was like, I'm gonna cook tonight, and yes, we'll come over. So when I got done work, got done getting Jackson from summer camp, I go to Marlon's house. I cook, and as I'm cooking, Marlon comes in from work. And when he came in, of course, he went over to Jackson, asked him how his day was going. Well, he came to me first, gave me a kiss on the cheek, and then went over to Jackson, asked him how his day was going or whatever. And Jackson was like, "Oh, it was good." He asked him how the camp was going, and he was like, "Oh, it was good. They played flag football." And Mom was like, "Oh, okay, okay. I used to play football." I was like, "I used to wrestle." When I was in high school, Jackson like, "You used to wrestle?" He was like, "Yeah, I used to. We had a wrestling team in my high school, and I used to be on a wrestling team. I was real good." Jackson like, "You went on no wrestling team. You can't wrestle." He's like, "Yes, I can." Like, "Yes, I can." Jackson's like, "You can't beat me." He's like, "Well, I ain't trying to beat you. I don't want to hurt you. Like, I don't want to hurt you." Jackson like, "You can't hurt me." So they go to grappling. Like, literally, Jackson grabbed Marlon, Marlon grabbed Jackson, and they was just like doing the shoving and the pushing and all on the floor just grappling. And then eventually they got up, and that was that. And Marlon was like, "All right, I'm about to go and take a shower." I was like, "All right, cool." So I finished making dinner, made Jackson plate. He was sitting down at the table, and I went in the room. When I went in the room, Marlon was in the room. He had just got out the shower. He was in the room, and he was just like, "I see what he did there." I'm like, "What you mean? What do you mean what he did?" He was just like, "He tried me." I'm like, "What you mean he tried you?" "He tried to see how strong I was." I'm like, "What?" He was like, "Yes, that's exactly what he was doing." Like, cause I noticed when we was on the floor tussling, he was really putting his strength into it. So I think he was trying to see if he could take me. I was like, "Oh, okay." He was like, "But I want him to know that he can't take me. Like, I let him think that he could take me, but he really can't take me. You know that, right?" I'm like, "I mean, yeah, okay, yeah. He's a child. You're an adult. Okay, I get it. Yeah." He was like, "Yeah, but he would try. He put up a good fight. Like, he did. He did." I was like, "Okay, all right." So as the days go by, everything is normal. Everything is all good. And then one day, I call Carter's dad because it's getting close to school to start back. Close to the time of school to start back. And I don't have Kion because he is not about to start school. And I don't know how to get King registered for school because I'm not his biological mom. So it's like I got Jackson registered for school. It was just getting King situated. Couldn't get him situated. So I'm like, I'm finna try to work out something with Pop Pop. Still couldn't get in contact with King's mom, Leah. I couldn't get in contact with her because she had me blocked on everything. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna work that out. But I ended up calling Carter's dad and was like, "Hey, I'm back in Savannah, right? So since school is about to start, is it okay if I come to take Carter to the first day of school?" He was like, "Yeah. You sure? You're his mom, of course." I'm like, "All right, cool." So I let Carter know. I'm like, "Look, I'm gonna be there for your first day of school, buddy." And he was so excited, and I'm just like, yeah, all right, we're gonna be there for the first day of school. So I already got that in the back of my mind. When school start, I gotta be there for Carter's first day of school. I gotta actually face Carter's dad, cause other than the me picking up Carter from his grandma's house and taking him to his dad's house at the end of my visitation, I ain't really had no interactions with his dad, like none at all. And it's like, yeah, nah, I ain't had no interaction. So this is gonna be like the first interaction we will have as like parents in the school together. Because before I left to go to Maryland, Carter wasn't starting school. Like he was still in daycare because he had just turned 4. So yeah, he wasn't in school. So this is gonna be my first time actually seeing him in school. So I was excited. It's like Forget his dad. I'm excited. So the days are going by. I have my time with Carter. But when I have Carter, I do not go to Marlin's house. Like, I don't go to Marlin's house. I go to Liz's house, and we're at Liz's house. Because I wasn't ready for that interaction. Like, I can be ready for Jackson, but I wasn't ready for Carter's interaction with Marlin, because Carter's interaction with Marlin comes with Carter's dad's input of his interactions. And I'm like, I ain't got time for none of that. So, like, nah. When I had Carter, I was at Liz's house, staying at Liz's house. That was that. So everything was going good. Like, me and Marlon, we weren't having any issues. Like, yeah, he would get these random, like, phone calls here and there from, like, his exes in Kenya, but I ain't think nothing of it. And then one day, remember the lady that I told you about, the old lady that stayed in the apartment, the short one with the limp? We gonna call her Brenda. Miss Brenda. She was there. So she knocked on the door. So I'm in the house, and like in his apartment, me, Jackson, we had literally just got done eating, and we hear a knock on the door. And Marlon was like, "Who is it?" She was like, "Brenda." And he was like, he looked at me, and I looked at him like, he was like, "All right, hold on, I'm coming." So he opened the door, and she was like, "Hey, Marlo, I ain't heard from you in a while. What's been going on?" He was like, "Oh, nothing. Miss Brenda, me and Key, we just been in here." And Miss Brenda started like peeking into the house, and I'm like looking around the sofa so she could see me, and I'm like, "Hey," and she was just like, "Oh, I was just coming to see if you ate today." And he was like, "Yeah, I'm in here. I cook for me, Key, and Jackson." And she was like, "Jackson?" She's like, "Yeah, that's Key's daughter." And then she started walking in. He didn't invite her in. She started just walking in, and he like stepped aside and like let her walk in. And she just looking. She's like, "Hey." I was like, "Hey," and I got up. And I went in the room. I was like, "Come on, Jackson." Because I'm just like, let me give them some privacy. Because I don't know what this is, but I'm getting like weird energy from it. I'm like, let me get them some privacy. So I go in the room. When I get in the room, Jackson was just like, "I'm going to go back out there." I'm like, "No, just stay back here with me." He's like, "I'm going to go back out there." So Jackson left, and he went out in the room, out in the living room with them. So I can hear Miss Brenda in there saying like, "Oh, I ain't know you know how to cook, Marlo. What you in here cooking? You ain't never cooked for me." And I'm like, "Why would he cook for you?" But all right, okay. She was like, "Oh, she up here in here with her son, huh? How's it feel to have a kid in the house? You know you don't have no kids." And that's when Jackson came in the room. He was like, "I don't know if I like her, mama." I'm like, what like, what do you mean? He was just like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. I'm like, "What, Jackson? Like what do you see?" He's like, "It's just hard to explain, but I don't know if I like her, mama." I was like, "Okay." And I'm just sitting. I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna just let this be. My son, I don't peep something. Eventually he gonna tell me what he peeped, but he done peeped something. So I just like, okay, since my son don't peep something, that means I need to start paying attention to what the fuck this is. Cause I'm not thinking nothing of it, cause she is 68 years old. Marlon is 25. So I'm really not thinking anything of it. I'm just like, yeah, it is what it is. So she ended up leaving. She was there for like 5 minutes, and then she ended up leaving. And when she left, Marlon came in. He was like, "Oh, I'm so tired of her doing this." I'm like what? She's like, just popping up unannounced. Like she just be doing the most. I don't understand why she doing all this. And the other day I woke up and it was trash outside my door. I'm like, "Trash outside your door?" He said, "Yeah, it was trash outside my door." Like, normally I would go up and take out her trash, to help her out a little bit. But I guess she was just waiting for me, and she just assumed that I'm going to always take out her trash. So she brought her trash down and just set it in front of the door. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then she came in here just like, I ain't like how she just barged in. I'm just like, well, maybe you just need to set your boundaries. Like, let her know that she can't do that. She's like, yeah, you're right. But I just be feeling so bad because, she's older. And, I got to respect. I'm like, yeah, I get that. I get that.